Alright, we're back on this shovel head motor, dealing with this cam that doesn't fit. So, customer wants to keep the old Scream Eagle cam. I'm going to take the cam gear that was a 4th Islander, something like that, 3.5, 4 under, I forget now. I'll go ahead and press this onto the gear, or onto the cam I mean. So we got to take this gear off, but first we got to figure out where this gear is at. So we got our handy dandy Jim's cam aligner tool. Can't figure out what I'm going to do with it. If I remember how to use the damn thing. I could read the instructions, but yeah, screw that. Why bother? Can't be that hard to do. Basically, you got a tip down in there, an old dowel that engages in your cam slot right there. So you stick it in there. You rotate it around until it hits. Push it down. Supposed to go down all the way. Alright. You got a couple of pinch screws here. You loosen those up. That lets everything kind of float around to where it wants to go at. So that gives you a roughly idea where it is. Probably should mark the cam so I know what I'm doing. That usually helps a little bit. Not much, but, you know, every little bit helps, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to mark it on a timing mark, which is the line right here. So go ahead and mark that tooth. We're going to mark the cam also, and over on this side here, so I get an idea where it's at. Close enough. That way I get a rough idea where it is. So, got a mark on this side, mark on that side. So that goes with that gear. I'm going to take this gear here, find the same mark. Now this one here, the marks are the same. So you have to figure out how it goes in the motor. This is the crank, this is the breather, so this is our timing mark right here. So go ahead and mark that, mark the top of the tooth, and then mark down the gear here. So it's marked all the way around the whole thing. Makes it hard to get lost when you mark it. Okay, now go ahead and mark this one while I'm at it too. Show me where I'm at on this gear. Okay, so we go ahead and poke it back down in this thing. Popped in. Okay, we've got a couple wedge pins here. Tapered. I don't know if you needed to, or they just give you an extra one in case you lose it. I think it's just an extra. So you can see how it's tapered a little bit. So basically you take it down your gear tooth, and you line up with the hole over here. Yep, you line up with the other hole. You line up way over here. Does that happen to be what the other mark is? Ooh, look at that, it is. That lines up with the breather mark, more or less. Loosen everything all up. Put a little light pressure on there with your thumb to center it. Take all the slop out of everything. Drop the pin on the floor, it helps. Try that again. Okay, once it's all locked in, you go ahead and lock your set screws down there, thumb screws. So now it's, you know where you're at. So according to Jim's tool here, this cam is advanced 3.5 degrees. See the marks right there? Yeah, we get real close. So Harley advanced their cam 3.5 degrees. So when we put this back in there, it goes back on 3.5 degrees. Okay, once you got it locked in, you should be able to pull this out. Press the gear off, put it back together, you should be able to do the whole thing. If not, we screwed up, which is always possible. So just in case I screw up, I'm going to mark it right next to that one. So now I can just eyeball it and push it back on pretty close. Okay, so I'm going to go over the press. I'm going to pretend we know what we're doing in the press. That ought to be fun. Alright, we're going to go for a walk with a stupid tripod, which I hate. I think I mentioned that before, maybe. Oh, there's a press. Okay, there's a pin. There's a cam. Tool. Alright. First thing I do is press the cam off. Just press against the side of the gear here. Make sure the cam lobes aren't digging into your press blocks. Give yourself a little bit of gap there so you don't hit anything. Go ahead and press it off. Oops. One cam out. One cam shaft without a gear on it. Okay, now we take our fancy dancy tool. It's supposed to be spring loaded. See, that's supposed to pop back up. Oh, it already moved too. That's nice. It's a good thing we looked at what it was before it did that. Right now the fancy dancy spring loaded plunger thing is not coming back up. There we go. That's nice how that sticks in there. Precision. Right. Get a little small little punch. Push it back up. Here we go, pop. It's back up now. See the plunger? It sticks. Alright, so now the tool's completely out of whack. It's a good thing we measure wherever we're at. Okay, here's our gear. This is our mark. So now we get to reinvent the wheel. Okay, where's 3.5 degrees at? Advance, 3.5 degrees. Take our tapered pin, which goes between the other one over here. So we gotta find our other tummy mark. That's the one that goes over there. Lines up perfectly. Great. There it is. Alright, so now we got our wedge pin in. We're engaging our dog on the inside. And I'm at 3 degrees. We're going to retard it a little bit. Make it run a little better. push it down there. Stop that in, recenter. Shove it back in. Okay, double check our mark. Looks like we're still about just under 3 degrees maybe. 2.9. Close enough. See how our old mark, we moved it a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit different. That must be that 1/2 degree, huh? Maybe that were a tooth off. Could be that too. But I don't think so. I think we're right where we're supposed to be. Now if I move that over a little bit to 3.5 degrees, that probably would line up a little bit closer. Now if we want to make it line up a little bit better, we can take it out and move it to 3.5 degrees. But I think I'm alright right there. We're on that same timing mark, so we should be good. Now all we gotta do is put this back in the bike and see if it's gonna line up and run better. So that's the question. It's hard to believe that's 3.5 degrees though, but 3 degrees, 1/2 degree change. See, every mark on here looks like it's 1 tooth off. That's what I don't like. That's more than 1/2 degree. 1 tooth is probably 18 degrees. So that doesn't look right. So if in doubt, let's redo it. We'll see how good this tool is. Oh, I missed the bucket. Somebody moved the bucket on me. So you always have a bucket full of towels down here. If the cam goes like that, it doesn't get damaged. Alright, so let's see what if I screwed up. So let's see, where's my mark at? There is my little mark there. Goes in there. Let's see, we're going to move this one over 3.5 degrees. It was before it moved. Okay, here's the old cam. Of course, the stupid pin plunger's stuck again. Plunger won't come up if you got all the tool hooked up. Wonderful. I need a bigger punch. Alright, we gotta take a break for a minute.